Well, good afternoon. Today we have great news for music fans in Indianapolis. On June 11th and 12th of 2022, historic Garfield Park will play host to a brand new live event, the WonderRoad Music Festival. Event organizers, the Elevation Group, already have a proven track record with previous festivals in the Midwest. This newest festival, put on in association with local promoters, MOKB Presents, will bring some of the very biggest names to town, which you will see in just a moment. But beyond their work in music festivals, the Elevation Group also has a strong history in motorsports, meaning that they are no strangers to the Circle City. They have also watched as Indianapolis pulled off some of the largest events in America since the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, like the NCAA men's basketball tournament. In collaboration with MOKB Presents, the largest independent concert promoter in Indianapolis, Elevation is set to pull off another successful weekend of music right here in Garfield Park. In many ways, this is the ideal location for such an event. It has the largest outdoor concert space of any park in the city of Indianapolis, and it is conveniently located right along the Red Line, allowing concert goers to ditch the hassle of parking. This festival will serve as yet another reminder of how special our Indianapolis parks are for our neighborhoods and why they should have and deserve our city's utmost support. Thankfully, this event will also provide several kinds of support to our parks. WonderRoad will not only provide an economic impact on the weekend that it takes place, but Elevation and MOKB have also pledged a total of $25,000 to the Indy Parks free summer concert series as part of today's launch. That deserves a round of applause. So stay tuned for the lineup, but I can give away one spoiler now. You won't want to miss it. Thanks to Elevation Group, MOKB, and as always, our city's Parks Department for bringing us this welcome announcement for indie music fans. I'll pass things over now to Dan Kemmer with MOKB. Dan.
Thank you, Mayor Hogsett, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. In 2008, MOKB Presents, led by my business partner, Josh Baker, has worked tirelessly promoting Indianapolis music scene and the city of Indianapolis as a music destination. Starting with a few shows at Radio in Fountain Square, MOKB has gone on to promote thousands of shows at the Hi-Fi, Lo-Fi, the Vogue, Old National Center, the Pavilion, and the lawn at White River State Park. Over the past several years, with the help from our friends at Visit Indy, Friends of Garfield Park, and George Ben and his team over at Indy Parks team, MOKB Presents has been able to go ahead and curate Garfield Park into one of Indy's favorite outdoor concert spaces. We capped that off this past summer with a sold-out show with Billy Strings. So what's next for the park? Naturally, a world-class music festival with some of the top artists in the country, in the world. This past summer, while visiting Cleveland and visiting some family in Cleveland, Denny Young gave me a call to come see his festival, Wonderstruck. I've known Denny for over 30 years. We both started in the business together in the early 90s with Midwest powerhouse Belkin Productions. My path continued in music, while Denny moved on to motorsports with IMG, a sports company where he staged several IndyCar races and managed athletes. He then went on to create the Elevation Group, where he worked closely with Indy 500 winners Gilles de Ferran and the late Dan Weldon. Together with his business partner Steve Lindecke, they've staged a number of events, including Wonderstruck in Cleveland and Wonderbus in Columbus. While attending the festival, Denny was impressed with what MOKB Presents has done in the marketplace and was curious if we were interested in staging a Wonder Festival here in Indianapolis. 4 months later, here we are. To tell you a little bit more about the plans this summer, I'd like to introduce you to the president of Elevation and my friend Denny Young.
Thank you, Dan. If many of you have been to concerts over the last couple of years, there's a thing that happens where the band sees how big the crowd out in front of them is, and they like to take a picture to send it to mom. So I'm going to do the same right now. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Mayor, thank you for being here today. It's an honor to have you. Phyllis Boyd, Indy Parks Director, also, thank you very much, and you're going to be hearing from Phyllis in just a minute. I also want to thank everybody at Indy Parks for being a part of this with us, particularly Renetta Spalding and George Ben, who are both here today. I want to thank Andy Wilson, who's doing our PR. What a great turnout, and Andy will have not only hats for everybody when we're done, but also a hard copy of the release or any other information you may want. In the house today, in addition to Dan, and he already mentioned Josh, but I also have to mention Josh. Josh Baker has worked tirelessly over the last 15 plus years to make Indianapolis a destination for music, both with residents here and people from outside of Indianapolis. And without Josh, none of us would be here today. So Josh, I want to let everybody know that. Business partners of mine that are very important, Cliff Chenfeld and Michelle Wesley, are not with us today, but they are a big part of this, and they'll be here this summer. Steve Lindecke, where are you, if you can raise your hand? Steve and I started this company almost 20 years ago. Mark O'Shea, Ben Barr, and Tori Slagle are all here from the Elevation Group. You heard me just a moment ago say a few things about Josh. Dan also, since his arrival in 2008, has been the second of the Mr. and Mr. Indy concert duo. One of the advantages for the Elevation Group coming into a city like Indianapolis is having the very best concert promoters across this state on our team. And Dan and Josh, the work they've done, the venues they've developed, the artists that they've helped create from small to big is immeasurable. It would go on forever to list all those artists, but without those two, we would be at a great disadvantage. Elevation, we shouldn't be here right now. March 11th, 2020 was the pandemic. We had to shut down events, not only in this country, but around the world that we're involved with. And, none of us knew how long this was going to go on, and obviously it still is going on. I'll address the pandemic in a minute, but this last summer of 2021, we made the decision to move forward with Music Festival in Cleveland and a Music Festival in Columbus. And I know that there were some people out there that thought we were absolutely nuts given the circumstances when we had to make our decision. At the end of the day, we hosted almost 70,000 people across 2 music festivals in Ohio. We did not have a single incident. We took it very seriously, safety precautions, deep cleaning. We created a partnership with Germex out of St. Louis, create hand sanitizers for everybody that came through the gate. We didn't have a single issue. We did on-site testing, on-site vaccinations. That was the state we were in this past summer. Where we head next summer, I'm not sure any of us know that right now, but know that we take it seriously. We're going to work closely with the city of Indianapolis and Marion County and make sure all of the precautions are in place to have an extraordinarily safe music festival. Everybody wants to know, okay, you said a lot of stuff. Who's coming? In just a few minutes, the mayor's going to join us. We're also going to have Phyllis join us to unveil our poster art. But I can tell you, on June 11 and 12, 2022, right out back here, so any of you photographers and videographers want to get a look at the site afterwards, it's right out back. On 3 stages that we will set up in Garfield Park, our headliners are Vampire Weekend and Lord Huron. They will also be joined by Bastille, who's from the United Kingdom, Churches from Scotland, Milky Chance from Germany. Yes, we like international flavor. Bishop Briggs from Los Angeles. Okay, that's not international. Matt Carney, Rabel, Noga Erez from Israel, the Bluestones from Canada, and many, many more. 28 total artists. It's going to be spectacular. I think the biggest music event in Indianapolis in a long time. Tickets go on sale, weekend passes, this Friday at 10 a.m. at the Hi-Fi box office, which is in Fountain Square, also through C-Tickets and WonderRoadFest.com. Dan mentioned Indianapolis and its importance to me. I've spent a lot of years at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. My business partner, Steve Lindecke, has spent a lot of years at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've hit just about every great restaurant in downtown Indianapolis and stayed at many hotels. This is an amazing city. This was the next best city for us to come to once we left Ohio. This is the first music festival outside the state of Ohio that we're a part of, and we chose Indianapolis to be that city. So thank you all, and thank you, Mayor. Everywhere we go with our events, we have a charitable component. In Cleveland, we partner with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum. We also partner with the Lakeland Foundation, which is tied into our site in Cleveland. In both scenarios, each of those beneficiaries were the beneficiary of a $25,000 check this past year. In Columbus, we partner with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center and their mental health programs. We donated at the end of this year's festival in Columbus $50,000 to Ohio State Wexner Med and all the work that they do in mental health. In Indianapolis, Dan advocated hard for Indy Parks, and it really was an easy decision for us. We feel strongly in partnership. We feel strongly in taking care of those that take care of us. The mayor let you know a moment ago about our donation to Indy Parks, but I would like to bring Phyllis up here right now, and I would like to present her with a check for $25,000.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Phyllis Boyd, your new Indy Parks Director, and I have proudly served in this role for almost 4 weeks. It's been like drinking from a fire hydrant. It's really lovely to be a part of this amazing Indy Parks team in the city. I know our city's parks really offer endless options to discover, relax, exercise, and of course, play. With 212 parks, 135 miles of trails, 11,000 acres, Indy Parks is committed to creating places and experiences that inspire. And Garfield Park is an amazing example of an inspiring place. From its summer concert and movie series to Conservatory Crossing, the sports leagues, the holiday events, pool offerings, and art shows, this park is really a city treasure. And as we get ready to hear more about WonderRoad's lineup, I want to extend thanks to Denny and Dan, Josh and Andy, and their teams for bringing this major event to Garfield Park. This pledge of $25,000 to Indy Parks as part of the festival launch is amazingly generous, and it's really going to help fund Garfield Park's music and arts events during the summer. So the entire Indy Parks team looks forward to showcasing the WonderRoad Festival in this beautiful park, and it's really going to be a wonderful celebration. Thank you.
Now, as we do in Victory Circle at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they call it the hat dance. I'd like to present hats. Mayor? Thank you. Dan? Phyllis? Josh? And I have one for Steve Lindecke, and if I could get Steve to come up and Josh to come up, we would like to unveil the art. That's on, and Mayor, we're going to let you do the honor. Oh. And then we'll get everybody in for a nice photo.
Okay, ready? There we go.
Steve, are you able to?
Out here, guys.
Excellent.
We would be happy to take any questions if anybody has any questions. The mayor, I know, is available. Dan, myself, Phyllis, if anybody has any questions. Wow, looks like we did an amazing job getting the info out. Yes, sir.
I had a question. It's Roy from the East Star here. I was wondering, are you guys hoping to make this into an annual thing? Are you doing the one-off event to see it and we'll see what happens? What's the plan?
Absolutely an annual event. I want to be clear, these events are difficult to put on, and they cost a lot of money to put on. And we started in Cleveland in 2016. We'll be running our 6th year in Cleveland. 2022 will mark our 4th year in Columbus. And we have every reason to believe that Indianapolis is going to be a home for a very, very long time, assuming that the mayor and the parks will allow us to keep coming back. But yes, that is our plan, is this to be an annual event, without question, emphatically. If there's no other questions, we're all available if anybody would like to come up, any one-on-ones. And thank you all very much for coming today, and we look forward to seeing you June 11 and 12. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Thank you very much.